When planting a garden to benefit birds and other wildlife, it's really important to try and maximize the diversity of the plants themselves. That enables a lot more resources to be available throughout the season. I'm standing in a brand newly planted garden about a year old, and it has just done a wonderful job of doing just that. You can see that we have plants, even now in late fall, that are still in flower and attracting pollinators. And at the same time, we also have shrubs that are producing berries and fruit. As well, there are plants here with dry seed heads that are going to benefit birds like sparrows and finches. And we also have other plants that will hold their berries and fruit well into winter, which will benefit those birds that require these foods in the colder months. So this is a garden that provides a diversity of feeding opportunities, and its structural diversity further provides safe cover for them while they feed.
In our area in southern Ontario, dogwoods as a group are an amazing plant to have in your garden. We have about a half a dozen species in our area, including this Drummond's dogwood. Right now, we have hundreds, even thousands of white-throated sparrows passing through our area. And they and lots of other birds love to feed on the berries of the dogwood. You can actually see in places where there are dense clumps of the fruit, and then over the course of a few days this week, they're being picked clean. Other species dogwood fruit a little bit later, so it's great to have this food throughout the seasons and around the year.
Staghorn sumac is an excellent example of a species that keeps its fruit or seeds late into the fall and winter and can attract anything from wild turkey to eastern bluebirds. So think about planting species that provide food for birds year-round.
And here's an example of a grass, little blue stem. Many of our grasses that we plant are wonderful cover and food for things like sparrows and winter finches. Here's New England aster, a great perennial that provides migrating monarchs with food in the fall, and of course now it's providing seed for wintering finches and sparrows. Gardeners have a tendency to want to clean up their gardens in the fall. But if you're gardening for birds and other wildlife, you may want to consider keeping some of the seed heads that are naturally found on the ends of the stalks of your perennials. For example, here's a coneflower, and as we begin to pull it apart, you can see all the food that is otherwise available if you leave it. This adds a great diversity to the diets of birds, and the stalks themselves left over winter create some shelter in the garden for birds as well. So these are two good reasons not to do all the work in the fall, and maybe come back to your garden in the spring and have some fun then.
You can also supplement with bird feeders to provide a reliable food source year-round for resident birds and also some migrants.
One of the best features you can install in a nature or bird garden is a water feature. Doesn't matter if it's a big formal pond with running water or a simple bird bath. That water feature will be great for birds year-round. You just need some way to keep the water flowing in the winter, and you just need to keep it clean and with a scrub brush for a bird bath in summer.